Hello, this is Reverend Bill Ryan, and this is part three of my series on witches and black magic. But before we start, just a few words about the election last night. It was pretty late night for me. It was pretty interesting on a few fronts. Hopefully, this will help unite the country. I would tend to think it would. Uh, Objectively, I'm not a big fan of Kamala Harris, but I'm not talking from someone who's critical of her. I'm trying to be as objective as I can. I think this was a very winnable election for her. Um, I just think she blew it, and I think the American people are not stupid. I think that she's an intelligent woman, but she didn't show that. It seemed to me she was trying to win an election by avoiding controversy and subjects. Um, I don't really think the American people are stupid. And I think that we were struggling. This last 4 years has been difficult. I don't think anyone would deny that. It's been kind of crazy for a few things with the woke movement and DEI, forcing people out of jobs that maybe they were better qualified for than other people that replaced them, and out with you know the economy. The immigrants coming in was a major thing. Uh, it was people when I know them, homeless people that were offended that um, the illegals coming in the country were getting more benefits than people that have lived here their whole life. And I think that's understandable. But I still think she could have won it if she just attacked and tackled the issues. But talking about what the future could be, unburdened by the things that were, and the passage of time, and all this I think that was frustrating people. People wanted answers, and I don't think she provided them at all. I think she avoided them, and like I said, I think she could. It was a very winnable election. I think all she should have said was, we're not perfect. We made mistakes. I was not the president. I was the vice president. I advised him, and he did what he wanted to do. Whether that's true or not, I don't know really. But she could have said that. They said something like, "Well, if you knew he was not in his faculties, why did you pretend he was?" And she could have just said, "I'm a loyal person, and that loyalty that I showed him, I will show to you as president." I think if she just kind of tackled the issues, she probably could have won. But that's just my 2 cents on the election. What's done is done now. I just hope, like I said, that people can begin to heal and unite. And I don't think going and getting all these celebrity endorsements was a very smart move either. I mean, Scarlett Johansson, I don't know, she got like $50 million for doing her Black Widow movie. I really don't think there's many people that can actually relate to her. That is trying to feed their family of four on a part time job. So anyway, getting away from that, let's get back to the subject at hand. So today I want to talk about something that's pretty interesting that I came across during the witch attack, and I was kind of surprised when I looked into other people that had experiences fighting off witches. I was surprised to see we have a lot of things in common, and it kind of how do I put this? Justifying, I guess, when you have these weird things go on, and then you find out, well, wait a minute, it's not me. That's just the way that things happen to other people as well. There is a different reality. I've heard it called many things. I kind of refer to it as the spiritual plane, and it's not a dream. It's actually a different existence where a lot of witches and wizards live. They don't just live in our plane of reality. And one day I came home, and my living room was full of witches, and they took me out. And I didn't know that I was crossing over to a different realm. Actually, it was kind of weird. It was very realistic. It was kind of it's well, it is real. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's definitely real. It's just not in our perception that we see. So unbeknownst to me, they took me there, and I went to a trial, and one of the witches that was after me sentenced me to death. Uh, and that was pretty inconvenient. So anyway, the bottom line is they were leading me away to a cell or something, and I broke away, and I fought and got away, and the rest is kind of hazy, to be honest with you. Uh, but I did, the next day I woke up in bed, and I expected. I've been fighting. But I grew up in tough streets, so I'm used to fighting. So when you get in a fight, I don't know if you guys know this, but the hands are actually very fragile. When you fight, if you can use anything but your fists, that would be good. Elbows, awesome. Um, but if you can avoid hitting with your hands, that is ideal. As a matter of fact, a lot of people think boxers use gloves to protect their punches from hurting the other person. That's not true. Boxing gloves are to protect their hands because they hit so hard that they'd probably break their knuckles. So the next morning I woke up, and these fights that I had to escape from the prison seemed very realistic to me. But I looked at my hands and they looked fine. And I thought, wait a minute. I mean, what was that? It wasn't a dream. Um, but yeah, it was pretty weird. They do have a realm that they can bring you in. I don't really know how to get there. I've been pulled into it a few times. I don't want to go there, but it's very realistic, and it it's every bit as realistic as this world. But yeah, I don't really know how to get there. I had to get pulled in, and I'm not sure how I got out. But it is some place that exists. If you do talk to other people that have suffered witch attacks or that are witches, they'll know all about this secret realm, this spiritual realm, I call it. Um, so anyway, it isn't a dream. You see, when you have a dream, you dream about crazy things. It would be very, possible to have a dream about, a block of cheese chasing you down the street. That wouldn't happen in the spiritual realm. Everything is realistic. It's logical. It follows a pattern of behavior that, kind of you could plug in the rules and laws of this world, and it works. So yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's not a dream, and it's a place where you go, and I think their powers. And again, I'm not really sure, but I think that their powers are magnified there. That's why they spend so much time in that spiritual world. Um, Another thing that I found out, actually, my wife discovered it, is that they creep into your mind when you might be able to keep them out during the daytime. If you feel them trying to penetrate your mind or trying to plant things, you can fight them off. You can say a prayer. There's a lot of things you can do to block them off. But you're vulnerable when you're asleep, and they're very sneaky. A lot of times I was lying in bed and I was convinced that I was talking to my wife. And I'm just, talking. And my wife's next to me and she wakes me up and she's, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I was just talking to you, wasn't I? She goes, no, you weren't. And there was someone in my head talking to me. And it was what they do. And the reason why they do it is because when you're asleep, you have no defenses. So you might be able to block them during the day, but the minute you close your eyes and you drift off, your mind's completely open, and they can actually climb in there and start asking you questions and talking to you and probably gathering information. And you don't know who it is. You might think it's your wife, your best friend. So yeah, that's the way that they actually penetrate and get knowledge. Now the thing is too, I'm glad I brought that up. Knowledge is really important. Um, they need to know where you are. If it's it was really weird because before I knew who actually was launching the attacks on me, um, I was being told that when I go on vacation, this person was frantic. It's like where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And it's like, why would they be so concerned about where I am? Because if they don't know what you are, they can't work their stuff. They need to know where you are. They need to know as much information of you as possible. The more information they have about you, the more control they have over you. So one of the things you want to do to reduce their influence is to hide your activities, not let them know as little as possible. Certainly don't let them know where you work if you can avoid it, because if they know where you work, they'll probably penetrate your boss and maybe get you in trouble or laid off or fired or whatever. Um, the less they know, the weaker they are. The more they know, the weaker you are. So it's very important you do not share information. Again, as I mentioned, you do not take gifts, you do not take drink or food or anything from them. The less you get to do with them, the weaker they are. Now, another thing I want to mention a little bit is I was um, I was raised a Catholic, altar boy. I went to Catholic school all the way through college. Um, and by the way, I know that the Catholic Church has an awful lot of critics against it, with bad priests and bad experiences for altar boys. Let me just state for the record, the Catholic Church was nothing but a very positive experience to me. I did have friends um, that were priests, that's still my friends. Maybe I'm one of the lucky ones, but to me, I was one of those boys that got up at 7 o'clock in the morning every morning and did early mass. As I got older, I did the readings in the church at like 9 or 10 years old. Um, I was very, very much involved with the Catholic Church, and I've got very, few bad experiences. I get no bad experiences actually to say about it. I do know that there were some indiscretions they did, and it's a terrible thing and probably unforgivable. But as far as my experiences, I never had a problem. However, let me tell you, for what I went through, I don't think the Catholic Church could have helped me, and I will tell you why. It's nothing. Again, it's nothing to do with the Catholic Church, but the people that helped me, the people from Africa, the high priests and the prophets that know how to deal with this thing, uh, they know that the way when you're under attack, you take it head on. I always think that maybe the Catholic Church is a little bit too passive. Turn the other cheek. Um, And I don't think that is how you deal with these things. These witches and these wizards and these bad spirits are absolutely relentless. Holding them at bay does not work. They have it. If they're told to do something by their leader, they have to do it. You don't go back and go, I did my best. Because if you do that, then you have to pay a penalty. If a woman was supposed to, I don't know, kill her neighbor, whatever, and she goes back and says, I didn't, so I wasn't able to do it for whatever reason, then the head, whatever, I guess, I'm not even sure what they call that, Grand Wizard, maybe? Actually, I think it is the Grand Wizard, is what they call him. He'd say, well, that's not good enough. You're going to have to pay a penalty. So what I want you to do is bring your oldest son here, and he's a genius and he's got really good grades, and we're going to make him a drug addict, and we're going to make it so that he's a criminal, and he will never see anything but a failed test score again. And she'll have to bring her oldest son in front of the Grand Wizard, and they'll put spells on him to make him a moron and a drug addict. So their failure is not an acceptable end for these people. That's why I know the coven that I'm fighting right now, it's kind of a lull. I know they're going to be back. They're going to be back, and I'm here waiting for them. Um, so, you know, they don't give up. So, and the thing is, that's why I think the Catholic religion is probably not the best resource, because they're all about turning the other cheek and relaxing. You need some fire and brimstone. You need somebody who jumps up and says, "Let's go for it. Let's get them. Let's don't wait for them. Let's get them." And that's why I got lack of a better word, I got some activists that wanted to do some opening kind of whoop ass on some witches and wizards. Where the Catholic Church again is kind of more like laid back and just let's pray and see what happens. That's not going to work. It doesn't work. These they're like pit bulls. These witches and wizards, and when they get in their mind to get you, they do everything they can to get you. And Yeah, you need someone who's going to be on the offensive, who really goes after them and gives them a new quarter essentially. Anyway, so that's it. I think I might do one more tomorrow. And that last one is probably going to be giving some hints about if you are under witch attack, what you can probably do, maybe what you should not do. Although I kind of hit on that before, but there is some ways of battling them that are very effective, and we can discuss those tomorrow. And then I think I'm going to wrap this up. I haven't gotten as much feedback as I was hoping on these because I mean was thinking about doing them extended, but I didn't really get the feedback that I thought I was going to get. So I think I'll just do one more tomorrow just to wrap it up, and then we can move on to something else. As always, my information is there on the bottom banner. I encourage anybody that wants to shoot me an email with any questions or requests if you want to, talk about something. I'm pretty well versed in a lot of things. I don't know anything about cars. I can't repair my own car, but don't know opera. But I know pretty much a lot of things though. So feel free to shoot me an email and ask me some questions. If you want me to do a subject, sure. You know. Like I said, I'm pretty knowledgeable about things. So anyway, let's just leave it there. And I want to thank you for your time. If you like this, let me know. Like, subscribe, and share. And if not, I thank you for your time and have a wonderful evening. This is the Reverend signing off. Bye now.